come on in to Willow Cottage Studio. So we wanted to show you around the studio because we've had a lot of people ask, what is it like? Is it a store? Is this where you actually ship all your orders from? So today we're going to take you through the entire studio, both the pretty parts and the working parts. So just to give you a bit of a history on our shop, we built this shop 4 years ago, but I've had the business for almost 11 years, and I used to run it from inside my home, but we got so busy, it was taking up over our house with fabric everywhere, so we decided to build on our acreage property, and we're located in Alberta, Canada, and built a shop where we could run our online business from. But soon it became a place where we were offering classes and in-person shopping, retreats, open houses, and that's what I want to show you now is the whole shop area. So let's go take a tour and I'll show you every little nook and cranny of our shop. So when you first walk in the shop, we have this display area, and this is usually where I put the latest fabrics or the latest products that we have just received. So in this case right now, we have the Acufactum Christmas products and some displays of items and things that we've made with for the Acufactum Club and their new books. And on the other side of the table, we have set up the My Dear Jane products. And that was a book that we were involved in with Acufactum. And we have sort of a permanent display here, and also kits and books and things that people can buy, but they can also see, what does the kit look like. So then we have just our front reception area, and a lot of the furniture and things that I have around are Facebook Marketplace finds or antique finds, vintage finds, and this is one of them. We found this nearby, and it was really important to me to incorporate my own personal style into the space and have it be a beautiful and inspiring space for people to come shop, take classes. So I really had fun collecting the furniture and the little treasures that you see here and there. This is one piece here that is actually an antique from Ireland, and it was brought over by an amazing antique reseller in Calgary called Uniquities, and they brought it over themselves from Ireland, and I filled it with some of our favorite home decor products because although we're based as a quilt shop, I love home decor and bringing the whole lifestyle of homemaking and coziness and providing some of those products for our customers as well, such as the Emma Bridgewater mugs, Green Gate mugs, and we really try to source unique and special things, particularly from Europe, but not always. We also have the Emma Huden products, so her cutting boards, and we have pillowcases. We have so many different things from her, and she's a wonderful designer from Sweden. And of course, we also have our sewing goodies. So we have the ribbons from Kafka, which are made in Germany, and they're an amazing company, so kind. We went and visited them when we were in Germany last year, and that was really fun. And then we have a few little things from France, Seju from France. And of course, it is not quite Christmas time, but we've already decorated for Christmas. And so we have all our decor here, and some of it we do sell or have sold in the past as well. And an exciting thing that we are doing for next year, so we'll have to wait a little bit, but we are bringing in some very gorgeous, authentic German Christmas decor. So that'll be in probably late summer of 2026. Because another passion of mine is Christmas. I love it. It's so fun to decorate. So we're going to start incorporating that into our offerings as well. So over here, again, we have a few more little products in our cupboard, and on this really great antique stand, we have some of our current fabrics so people can pick them up, take them to the fabric area and find matching, you know, basics or other fabrics that they want to see how they match together. And they can see it unrolled from the bolt. So we usually change that out with each of the new collections from Acufactum. And over here, we have a little love seat, I guess you'd call it. And the reason why I put that here is I envisioned when people come for a class or a retreat, they really enjoy stitching. Maybe they have a cup of tea, they want to have a visit, and they do that. Although I'll say, usually it's the husbands that have come shopping with their wives that end up on the little love seat, but it's a cozy little corner for our guests to enjoy. This is another Facebook Marketplace find, and I absolutely love this cupboard. And right when I got it, I thought this would be perfect for my sheep cupboard, which sounds kind of odd, but not only do I love sheep, but I love the sheep collection from Acufactum, and I thought it just looked perfect in here. And so that's primarily what I have in this cupboard, and usually it doesn't change much. I just added a few Christmas decor items to decorate, but we have had this as our sheep cupboard since we moved in 4 years ago. Over here we have, so this is another good example of, this isn't just a storefront where there's just shelves of things for sale. I very much decorate as I would decorate my home and my own sewing space, and want it to be somewhere super special for people to visit, and somewhere super special for myself and for my staff and the people who work here. This is a miniature house. So one of my hobbies is dollhouse miniatures, and this I purchased from a wonderful lady locally, and I'm in the midst of renovating the upstairs to be a miniature sewing space. So I thought that would be really fun for just a fun addition into the studio. And then of course now we're getting into more of the products that we have. We have some wonderful fig tree fabrics, and we have a very exciting collaboration coming up with Joanna of Fig Tree & Co. We have a lot of our books. So most of our books that we sell are the Acufactum books, which now the latest ones are in English, but a lot of these ones are in German. And I've talked a lot about that. They're such amazing, gorgeous books that even in German, they're worth just for the pictures and the inspiration, but they're also very easy to translate. And we have a little video on our website on how I do that and how I use these books all the time, despite them being in German. Although we are very happy that they're now translating them in English. So if we just keep moving down, one of our things that we're known for is Tilda fabric, and this whole area is all of our collection of Tilda fabric. I have to say that although we have all of the reorderable basics for Tilda, we don't have a lot of their main collections because they usually sell out so quickly. So I'll show you the few things that we do have, but with Tilda, it is so popular. Usually once it goes up for pre-order, we have very little left afterwards. And that is something that I can understand because I absolutely adore Tilda, and that was actually the very start for me for my business. So we have some other goodies for sale, and I try to very thoughtfully source products that, one, are unique, maybe from Europe, maybe not, or that really speak to me. I never bring things in that I don't love myself, but also a lot of these are very complementary to the fabrics we sell. For instance, right here, this is a gorgeous wrapping paper book. So each of these pieces actually folds right out, and you would have a large piece of wrapping paper, but it's illustrated by Silke Leffler, who is the artist for many of the Acufactum fabrics. So it's just a really nice way of blending in our different products. And a lot of these come from Germany, but we also have Flowery, which is designed by Bonnie Christine. She has amazing, beautiful products. And then we work in our different fabrics and kits. And these are always changing, of course, with the different releases. We also have in our Tilda area, our Tilda books, which if you've never read a Tilda book, I highly encourage it. They're so gorgeous, and like the Acufactum books, they're really almost like a coffee table book. So even if you don't sew, they're just beautiful books to look at. Then we have a display area here, and this is a wonderful cabinet from a lady who used to have a vintage and antique store in Calgary. She doesn't do it anymore, but I bought a lot of pieces from her, and that's Barb from Honeybees. And in here, I've put things that are more display items, like our So Treasured Bears, and most of these Jean made. I made the Maisie elephant on the one side there. And that's just to show you what the kits that we sell can be made up into. We also have our beautiful Fable of England products and our Stockwell ceramics from England as well, and our Myli. So this is really just to display a few things and show you what is inside. For instance, the little containers there from Myli, the little picnic sets. And then I also have some of my Tilda dolls that I've made. These aren't all of them, but a few of them. And it's just a nice way to show you what you can make from the books and the patterns and the kits that we sell. So moving along, we still have our Tilda area along this entire wall, and with some of her basics here. And then we have a few other things that we've made to showcase, and we sell again these kits and these patterns. And we just recently brought in the confetti cotton. It's Riley Blake product in association with Wonderfill, and that was because although I am not a general sell all the notions, quilting notions and whatnot, it is mostly for people that are taking classes and maybe they forgot, I need my yellow thread, so that we have this small display for them. And I chose this one because I love the colors that they had, the selection. I thought it was really pretty. So my husband has made quite a few of these stands. So the stands that the fabric for Tilda is on, and these stands, and I just designed and showed him what I wanted, and he built these, and they're great because they hold on both sides fabric. And it's a challenge to find beautiful things for display that are practical but also really pretty and fit within the aesthetic of the shop, and that's something that was really important to me. So we made these on our own. Up here we have all the Acufactum labels, so we have so many different types, and there's more and more coming out, and we always bring in those new ones. And then we have our fabrics. So we have our Macour linen texture, more Tilda, and we don't typically sell Liberty fabric, but this was brought in. It's the Emily Bell blenders. It was brought in for a specific kit, and these are just the leftovers that we have. They're beautiful. Then we have various different patterns. We have some Sarah Filkey and our favorite Nicola Dodd cake stand quilts, and some more Acufactum books here. Then we have our Toverlux, and this is something that we recently brought in, and I'm absolutely loving it. The first thing I do when I go into my own sewing room is turn on my Toverlux lamp. And these little silhouettes you can change out. So there's many different designs, and you can change them out seasonally or for different colors. And that is something that is from the Netherlands, and we are loving those. This is a wonderful cabinet from France that I purchased from Uniquities. That was the antique shop in Calgary, which is an incredible shop. So if you ever have a chance to visit them, you should. And although they are in Calgary, they also sell at Round Top in Texas. So for our Texas followers, I would highly recommend seeing them there. This one came from France, and when I bought it specifically for the studio. And we have it right now filled with our Acufactum Christmas. So it is full of all the past projects that we've made, some quilts, and the wonderful new advent calendar. Their advent calendars are so beautiful. And we have the original advent calendar here as well. So you can see the samples, see the size of them and what they look like all made up. And then on here, you may notice that there's not actually fabric bolts here, but that's because that collection arrives on Monday, and that is saved for the French Market collection by Jera Brandvig, and we're very excited for that one. A lot of it has sold out on pre-order, but hopefully we'll have a good amount left. And we have just some various kits. These are Acufactum Christmas kits, and we like to change out our displays regularly. And then this is our stand for all the cross stitch patterns, and they are wonderful patterns. So these are from Acufactum, so they are in German. However, cross stitch, you really don't need it to be specifically in English, because you can read this pattern no problem. And we have a conversion for the thread that they use for DMC floss that we usually commonly have, and that we have here when we kit these up. Here we have some other fabrics. William Morris. I love William Morris, have been a long time fan of William Morris fabrics. And we have our selection here, and that is also something that we're always adding, their new prints and their basics. And some other various fabrics and bundles, like this wonderful blender bundle. How sweet is that? And these things are always changing. So we have certain fabrics we always keep in stock, such as the Acufactum fabrics, Amiably True, and the Tilda basics, but others are constantly changing as new products come in. And this is another little area that we have our myli on display, and we have really enjoyed bringing these products in for about the last year or so, and they're so sweet. They make wonderful gifts. And the other thing I have here is Stockwell ceramic buttons, and I was trying to find a really interesting way to display them, and I found this from a wonderful local vintage shop, and she's no longer doing that, but she is such a wonderful lady, and I purchased this from her, and it's all filled with the buttons and all of these drawers, so you can come and just pull out a drawer and take a look if you're looking for a very special handmade ceramic button. So the person, Adrian, is who I bought the cash register from, but I also bought, well, many things, including this armoire from her, and I thought it was perfect for our Amiably True fabrics. They change seasonally, so right now, of course, we have our Christmas, but we'll put in our Easter, our fall fabrics, you know, changing with the seasons. And if you don't know the Amiably True fabrics, you're in for a treat. They are so beautiful, and Veronica is in Italy, and she paints these and produces the fabric on her own, and they are definitely a favorite here at the shop. And anybody who comes and sees them, similarly with Acufactum, they're just so unique and different from things that we normally see in the quilt shops. So I love bringing in her products. And I did not make this. I bought it from Whimsical Wishes. And look how beautiful. Then if we come around here, we get to what I call the tea cart. This is something that I purchased off of Facebook Marketplace, and a lady in Calgary had made it, and she made it for her daughter's wedding, and it is huge and it is very heavy, but I absolutely love it. And my dream is to seasonally change out the awning fabric to match whatever I'm displaying, so maybe one day I'll have enough time to do that. This is usually where I put our Tilda displays, so whatever the latest Tilda fabrics are, I'll display here. There's one problem with that, and that is Merry Little Christmas which is, this is my quilt top. I haven't quilted it yet. It sold out so fast worldwide that we have not very much left. So it's a little sparse right now, but we have just some Tilda-ish things and some of her books, my favorite books of hers, and the little bit of fabric that we have left from that collection. But again, this changes seasonally. And here is a Santa and a stocking I made from her Homemade and Happy book. And next that will be coming out is February 1st is Songbird. So this will completely change and the whole vibe of the shop will change as well. And that is another gorgeous collection. So watch for that one. This is our Fable of England, which I showed a little bit of the jewelry that they have in that glass fronted cabinet, but they also have wonderful purses and they have scarves and so many different things, and they're just stunning. And it's just something that spoke to me. I purchased this after I hadn't actually heard of them, but Nicola Dodd gifted me a little brooch from them, and I looked them up on the website and I was in love, so we decided to bring those in. This is our doll belge, which is Victoria in Belgium is the designer, and she has the artist, which is our favorite Daniela Drescher, has illustrated many of the fabrics, but Victoria actually does these amazing Waldorf dolls. And this is our exclusive one that she designed for Willow Cottage. But we also have the pillow covers, the advent calendars, and the cutest little things like this little fairy house bag. So it's actually a little drawstring bag. So lots of fun things with doll belge and beautiful fabrics, and more kits with the different dolls as well. So those are kits for you to make at home, and they're very simple to make. So they look maybe a little daunting, but they are very simple to make. And the instructions are very thorough. Then we have just different fabrics. This is La Tati from Spain. And again, it's something that we thought was unique and beautiful and not something that would be found in just, any quilt shop. And this isn't necessarily quilting weight fabric, but it's beautiful for many different projects and for home decor. So we bring a little bit of those types of fabrics in as well. So here we have our classroom space. And if you've been to a class or a retreat with us, you know that it hasn't always been set up like this. So our studio is constantly changing and being redecorated and moving around depending on what our needs are at that time. So when we have a larger retreat, we clear out this whole main area and have many more tables. But our usual setup for our weekly classes, we have these tables here, and depending on if you're bringing a sewing machine or if it's just a hand stitching class, will depend on how many people we have for each class. And back here is one of our walls of fabric, which you'll see the other ones as well. But I had this library ladder made, which was, yes, practical to get up to the fabrics up there, but also I just thought it was so pretty. And here we have Tilda fabrics and all our Tilda basics along the top, and then our Acufactum fabrics, and we come down to our Amiably True fabrics. And you may think, oh, they look so small on these small bolts, but it's actually extra wide. It's over 60 inches wide, but she just double folds them when she sends them to us. And this area is our cutting table, mostly for shoppers when they come, so we can cut their orders, but we also have other cutting tables that I'll show you after. And then of course you need an area for snacks and for coffee and tea. So we have a little kitchenette here. And then the last area, which is a work in progress, so you will see it differently in the future, but we have recently brought in some cross stitch goodies. My daughter, Madeline, who works here, so many of you have met her or seen her on pictures or the videos, she loves cross stitch. She loves the Acufactum cross stitch, but she also fell in love with the Animal Cracker series when she was visiting Nikki Franklin in England this summer. And she has been begging me to bring them in. So we brought them in and she's been stitching up samples. So soon we'll add samples to this so you can see them all done. But there's adorable patterns. We also have other patterns with thigh needle and thread and more. And we're actually going to the Nashville Needlework Market in, I believe it's February, might be March. And we're going to be sourcing some other goodies because we found that people are loving the cross stitch. And then we just actually received another order for Weeks Dye Works. So we have more threads coming, more patterns, more linens. So watch this space because it will change quite a bit as we get the rest of our orders in and we get it all styled and beautiful. The other thing I wanted to show you is the beautiful Acufactum ribbons. Now we do have other types of ribbons from Acufactum, but these are their woven ribbons that match many of their fabrics. And I had my husband build this stand so that they could be displayed and you can easily shop from and see all the selection that we have. The next thing we're going to do is take you beyond this pink door, which is our staff only door, and show you the warehouse side and the office of the studio. So we're now in the shipping warehouse side, and it's important for it to be practical and functional, but we still wanted it set up nicely for us. And I'm going to take you on a tour of what that looks like. So the first thing that you'll see are our large cutting tables. This is where the ladies stand to, you can see they're starting to fold some fabric for our Acufactum Club, but also cutting our orders, cutting our kits. And usually we have Leanne or Karen on one side and Lori is on the other side. And it's just very bustling and busy place. Today is a nice quiet day. We purposely chose a quiet day to film. So it's just us in here right now, but normally it's very active. We have our shelving with all our extra kits. So we're constantly restocking kits, making kits, because people love kits. So while we do sell fabric off the bolt, we sell a lot of kits as well. So I'll show you back here. And we have, and this is a bit of a work in progress because we have just finished our other edition and we're doing some tweaks and changes. We just added this peg wall, which of course has our rainbow of DMC floss, our bianis, and we have more peg walls being added with more things. But I just love being able to see all the products and especially see the rainbow of DMC. For those who are curious, this is how we cut our fabric. And yes, I've seen people use these instead of rotary cutters just in their own sewing room, but really they're designed to stack quite thick stacks of fabric and cut them. And they seem scary, but they're actually very safe because they have guards on the blades. And this is something that we use constantly. And on this side is our shipping area. So Emma is in charge of shipping and she usually sits over at that computer. And this is where she will have all our orders piled up here. And she's making boxes and packaging and shipping. So this area we have more fabric storage. These are extra bolts, or in some cases they're specifically saved for different kits or block of the months that we have coming up. And all under here are extra shipping supplies, and we have a lot more than just these two, but these are the ones that are easily accessible for Emma for shipping. And I'll show you what it looks like to actually see when we receive an order, because UPS just dropped off right before we started filming, and we get as excited today as we did the first day we started the business to get new fabric. We love fabric, as I'm sure all of you do too. So I can't wait to get into these and really see what there is. This is our wall of extra fabric as well. And again, that extra fabric is often something that we have to save for a future project or kit coming up, and our basics. And sometimes they're just backup bolts for when we run out. On the main side, we have one to replace right away. So that's the main shipping receiving and cutting area. And then just through that door is my office, which we will show you. And if you look at those doors, those are our big double doors where we can open them up wide and we receive our orders from. So come on into the latest addition that we actually just moved into a few weeks ago. And this is my office. So I would like to show you that. So this is just a very basic IKEA tables and desk that I have. This is where I am. I joke that I didn't realize I was getting a desk job, but really there's so much computer work. So this is where you'll find me on most days. And then this is the more sort of pretty side of my office, and that's because this is where we are doing a lot of filming. So once we do our live shopping, which will be coming back in 2026, it will be here. That will be our backdrop, but we also do a lot of product photography and filming for our reels and whatnot in this area. So it was really important to me to be beautiful and an area where we can change out the quilts as needed. And you can see it's still a work in progress. I have things here waiting to be hung, and I like to sort of be in the space and work in the space before I finalize all the details. But this has given us so much more room. Behind where you're looking is more warehouse space and our work tables. So there are tables laid out where we can fold, package, and get everything organized for our many different subscriptions, block of the months, Acufactum Club, and so forth. So that is it. I really hope you enjoyed the tour and enjoyed seeing a little bit behind the scenes. And you know, maybe one day we're going to have to do a quick film when all the rest of the ladies are here that are so important and a big part of Willow Cottage, and they work really hard every day to, as I say, make your fabric dreams come true.